All right. Welcome to Unfiltered. This is a side note. As this year comes to an end, I reflect back on the last 12 months and I smile. I wish you could truly understand how far God has taken me, how far He has brought me, the distance from where I am now to where I used to be. I used to be bound and enslaved to drug addiction and alcoholism and depression and anxiety. And I hated myself. I hated life. I had no hope for the future. And so I wasn't making good choices in my today because I didn't have any hope for the future. When you don't love yourself, you don't make good choices now because you don't see the benefit. You don't see the reason. You don't have any hope for the future. And if you don't have any hope for your future, then you won't make good choices now. I was bound and beaten down and tormented 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whether I was awake or whether I was asleep. I hated life. I was surrounded by such a darkness, and I didn't see a way out. But I kept calling on God. I kept believing. Even when I wanted to quit, even when I was battling suicidal thoughts, I kept believing at some point God is going to deliver me. Now, I was waiting for something to happen, and I didn't realize how important it was for me to get off my butt and do something to make it happen. God was there, encouraging me, strengthening me, because He knew at some point I was going to catch something. I was going to rise up, and I was going to be able to implement the wisdom that He had been teaching me behind the scenes. But I'll be honest with you, because I hated myself, and I hated life, and I believed that God hated me, then I never had any motivation or any courage. But now I realize that He loves me unconditionally and that He always saw me as His son, and He was there to encourage me. He was teaching me about His love while I was beaten down, enslaved in the darkness. And as His love started to penetrate into my mind and started to break down the barriers that once enslaved me, I started feeling better about myself. And it caused me at some point to rise up out of the ashes. I was in such a deep pit and I just kept digging and digging. I hated my life. I was overwhelmed with stress. I had no good friends around me, if I had any at all. Many years I was just isolated all by myself. I didn't trust people. I didn't want to be around people. I didn't care about the holidays or birthdays, or I didn't care about myself. I didn't care about anything. And then He heard my cry. He pulled me out of the pit. He started to give me strength in areas that I never had strength in before. Areas that were always weak, He started to strengthen them. He started to pick me up and motivate me. And He gave me a purpose and a song and a reason for living. And it makes the days that I used to live in, they were never satisfying. I left every day thinking, I hate this. But at the end of this year, I smile because God has brought me a very, very long distance. I reflect back on these 12 months, and if you have been an encouragement to me in my life, if you know me personally, I want to say thank you. During those times when I was struggling with certain things and you picked up your phone and talked to me, or you came to visit me, I want to stop and say thank you, because you didn't have to do that. And if there's someone in your life that has shown unconditional love, that has built you up, that has helped you over this last year or maybe the years before, stop and say thank you, because they didn't have to do that. They chose to do that. It is so amazing for me to see some friends that I just met in the last few years who were really struggling and really bound, who are so much better than they were, and all these new doors of opportunity that have opened, all because God has been faithful. You know, what you're going through right now, I want you to understand this. You may not see what's right around the corner. And the lessons that you're learning right now, the wisdom that He's teaching you, the strength that you're gaining, the practice, all that you're going through right now, you are learning right now what is necessary for when you go around the corner and you face what you face around the corner. You don't see it, but you don't need to be discouraged or intimidated. You just need to see Him. Walk holding His hand. It is the love of the Father that set me free. It caused me, when I realized He loved me, I started loving myself. And when I started loving myself, I started sharing this love with others. My cup runs over. He taught me that He loves me. I learned how to love myself. And then I started loving other people and being an encouragement and a light to those around me. It is so satisfying. And so I look back at this last year because I don't want to just keep running around crazy all the time. I need to stop and say, you know what? I have a lot to be grateful for. I smile and I used to not smile. I love myself and I used to hate myself. I love being alive and I used to hate being alive. Everything used to overwhelm me, and now I have a motivation and a hope and an encouragement that I never have. I know that I am successful because God carries me. Thank you, all of you who support me, who watch these videos. I am here pouring out my life stories to you that you may be encouraged. The ultimate goal of every one of these videos is that you get to know Him better. Without God, I would not be successful. Without God, I would not be making it. If God was not in my life, I would not be sober, and I probably wouldn't be alive. If I didn't have peace from God and joy from God and hope, if He wasn't blessing the things in my life that He blesses, then I don't know that I would be sober, because He has filled the void that was inside of me. Psalms 40 reads as follows, verse 1. I waited patiently for the Lord. He turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and mire. He set my feet on a rock and gave me a firm place to stand. He put a new song in my mouth, a hymn of praise to our God. Many will see and fear the Lord and put their trust in Him. He lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and mire. He set my feet on a rock and gave me a firm place to stand. When Jesus was talking about building your house on the sand, He said, when you're building your life on something that is shaky, at any given moment, it can all tumble down and fall apart. I know many times in my past, I would build something and instantly it would fall apart. I would try a relationship or try a business or do this and do that. And whatever I touched, it all fell apart because I was standing on shaky ground. I wasn't standing on the rock. I was trying to do things of my own strength and of my own will, and they were always unsuccessful. But when I connected with God, He started to bless everything my hands touched. He started to teach me wisdom. Now, I want you to understand, when He taught me this wisdom, I could either apply it or I could ignore it. If you are unteachable, and if you are stubborn, and if you think you know everything, then God's not going to be able to work with you. But if you come saying, Lord, I need your wisdom, I need your guidance, I depend on you, He will start opening your mind to things that you never thought possible. He will direct your steps. He will be the light to your path so you know which way to go. You know, sometimes certain things end and you didn't expect them to end, but they end so that something new can come to life. Unless a seed dies and falls to the ground, it cannot live again. That seed is dead. It falls to the ground, and then new life, new growth. You know, you got to forgive yourself and move on. You have made mistakes in your past. Maybe you haven't been the best mom or the best father or the best friend, but you know what? Those days are over. All you have is right now. And as this year comes to an end, stop and be grateful. Stop and tell people, thank you. I have a firm place to stand, and everywhere I go, He is with me. Even when I'm by myself, I am not alone. He is with me always and forever. I make these videos to be encouraging to you. And I know everything you're going through is not easy. Make sure you surround yourself with loving, kind people so that when you are struggling, you can lean on them. And then when they are struggling, they can lean on you. I look around and I see all the success of the friends of mine that I have right now and how far they've come and how amazing God has been in my life and in theirs, and it encourages me. Stop and take the time to be a blessing to those around you who are struggling. When you see someone who is broken, give them encouragement. Pick them up. Let them know, look, I know exactly what you're going through because I've been going through it before too. But yet God has been faithful, and He's made me who I am today. He's given me all this hope and all this joy and all this peace. The family members in my life and friends that are still alive, I am so grateful for them. I'm so happy and satisfied to put my arms around someone who loves me and to feel that hug and to know that it's genuine. There have been friends and family in my life that were in the trenches with me. When everyone else gave up, they stayed in the trenches. They kept believing. They kept encouraging me. They kept encouraging me to love myself, to not quit. And because of them, I am alive today. And I am in front of you, being that encouragement to you because God has been so amazing. See, He heard my cry. He didn't leave me broken and damaged. He lifted me up, put all the broken pieces and put them back together. And all of that old me died, so that the new me may live. Like I said before, it's like the old me passed the baton to the new me, and my new life took off running. I'm standing on solid ground as this year ends and another year begins. There's so much hope and so much opportunity. And I just want to pour this all out into these videos and let you know you are not alone. Surround yourself with people who love God and cut off those who don't. Cut off the snakes in your life. If you are in a bad relationship, cut it off. If you have friends that are just taking advantage of you, make new friends. Implement the knowledge that God has given to you so that it becomes wisdom. Apply that knowledge. Learn, grow, be teachable. Don't be stubborn. This is an amazing life, and I'm here to encourage you and let you know that where I am today, I have not always been here. It has been such a long journey, but I have learned so much along the way. I smile because I am finally happy, and I have hope for the future, so I'm making good decisions today because I see how amazing my future will also be. I am so excited about the things to come. God bless you. Have a good day.